Our fellow Pinkos and comrades, welcome to Malt Liquor Socialists. I'm your host, Mr. Kiefer, and today I'm joined by a man who loathes AI, the perfectly appropriate amount of loathing due to AI. Mr. Morgan.
There is no depth to my hatred of AI. But I am feeling better. My cold is gone. But if you hear me sniffling a little, it's fine.
I was going to chuck it up to allergies.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right.
All right. What do we got going on today?
Well, in this week's episode, we are going to be interviewing JJ Scofield. JJ is one of the two people, to my knowledge, that has recently been on the receiving end of a slap suit from former Commissioner Foreskin. So without further ado, let's say hello to our guests. So,
hello, sir.
JJ, how's the morning going?
Today is a glorious day.
Indeed it is.
Yes.
It's not too hot.
Not yet.
Well, not yet. Hopefully it'll be kind of like yesterday, not too hot.
Yeah.
Kind of cool because I don't have to turn the AC on in here. It is loud as hell. So, JJ, before we hop into these questions, I just like to go over like a basic disclaimer for our listeners. This is basically just to let the listeners know if they've heard this before, they know it. But most of these questions are scripted ahead of time, and our guest has been given access to these questions. Though I suspect there will be some organic questions, or follow-up questions that deviate from prepared questions. We do this because the goal of these interviews is not to catch people off guard and to make them look bad.
Nope. We want information.
Yeah, pretty much just it.
Yeah.
So, the big thing we're going to be covering, JJ, with these questions is the slap suit that you've had to deal with from former Commissioner Foreskin. And we will be referring to him by his surname, I guess, for the rest of this interview.
Yes,
Mr.
John
West.
Yes.
So, JJ, if you don't mind, how did this lawsuit from West start?
Well, it ultimately started because I was one of the many people who were involved with his recall. And so he initially sued, some other folks directly tied to the recall. And then he, at the very last legally allowable time, sued Jay Meredith and me for defamation. It still was tied to his recall, which is evident in Meredith's lawsuit recently being dropped. Or dismissed, excuse me, because it was clearly in response to the recall. It was alleging the recall process was improper. So he dropped me because his part that he tied to me was impressively weak and easily disproved. So he ended up dropping that, and then he decided that he needed to find some other way to seek revenge for being recalled, and so he came up with the latest lawsuit, which is a basic defamation lawsuit. And so that one doesn't have the same time frames as a response to a recall lawsuit.
Okay. So let's see. Has West provided any evidence against you with this lawsuit? And if so, what has this evidence been?
So it's a very strange lawsuit because it's defamation. And he alleges that I did two things. I commented on someone else's post, and in the comment, I reference him and Commissioner Beartrigger having a legal meeting. And he didn't actually provide the full post to the court. He just provided like a little snippet of the post. And that is an absolutely true thing that I posted in December of 2025. And it was actually not my post, it was a response. And then he alleges that I made some other post in that same month saying he and Herman had illegal meetings every month. Now, I did look, and I couldn't find any post or any comment where I said that at that time frame. It's possible that I did, and then it could have been a reply, and the original comment was deleted, and then it wouldn't be available. Or it's possible that maybe I said that previous to within a few months, because I actually looked more than just December. My guess is I probably said something similar to that during the recall, but that is past the statute of limitations. So he's either purposely misleading or misremembering what he said. In his response to the court, he also tries to tie in my activity in the recall to my state of mind a year and a half later in the post I made to show that I have some sort of grand vendetta against him.
So he's trying to double dip. He's trying to get this about this statement that you made on Facebook, but also about the recall.
Yeah, I mean, in my again, this is conjecture on my part, but the reason, in my opinion, that he is suing me is twofold. One, it's clear retaliation for the fact that I was doing lawful activity, protected activity, which is, engaging in a recall. And then, in my opinion, more importantly, he is trying to send a message to anyone who wants to try to stand up against him in his political aspirations. If you come against me, it's going to cost you a lot of money, and I'm going to sue you. I know I made a declaration in J. Meredith's suit, and it's very apropos. During the recall, I regularly ran into Mr. West, and at one point in time, he threatened to sue me for defamation, to which I said, I'm not impressed by your threats. I'll get a bunch of people to say I was speaking the truth. And he said he didn't care whether he won or not. It was about hurting me financially. So clearly that's what he's trying to do. He has a lot more money than the average person, myself included, and the cost to defend oneself is significant. So the average person might be afraid to stand up to Mr. West because they're afraid, even if they do something that's protected, even if they do something that's completely erroneous, he'll allege that it's defamation, and then they're going to have to spend time, money, and effort to defend themselves.
Okay.
And that's the whole premise of anti-law.
Okay. So basically then his goal is literally just to scare the shit out of people who'd speak out against him and just be punitive for people who are saying things he doesn't like. Okay.
Yeah, I believe that's the case. Again, it's conjecture, but ultimately, I that's why we filed an anti-SLAPP motion. Ultimately, Judge Galley is sort of hesitant to authorize anti-SLAPP motions for whatever reason. But yeah, that's the premise of the law. Is you have a lawsuit that is frivolous and unlikely to proceed, and it's used in order to silence political opponents. And so it's a way to reduce the likelihood that those lawsuits will move forward and put the cost of those lawsuits onto the person who has the frivolous lawsuit.
Okay. I want to check. West has claimed in an interview with Mike from Mike on Mike that the county finance director said the recall was wrong when it said that West lost the county $6.4 million. This is something that this was in the recall, if I'm remembering correctly. And this is one of those things that I can't catch all the things West has been on to try to denounce, this be false kind of stuff that he does with his oddly bad grammar when he's trying to appeal to the average Joe. But I want to know your input on this, because I do recall with the lawsuit that he initially had, it was not, oh gosh, I forget who it was who he initially took to court just over the recall. And the judge said 5 of these things are fact or opinion that you can't sue for. And the last one, I'm not deciding one way or the other because no side's provided enough evidence yet.
Yes. That was, he sued Lily Morgan as the chief petitioner of the recall.
Yes.
And he went, and one of the tenets was the, financial numbers. And Lily and her attorney were able to show a court that that statement was verifiably true. So Sandy can say whatever she wants. She has pretty close ties to John. I know she's suing the county and using John's attorney. Now, whether John's paying for that or she's paying for it, I have no idea. But she has close connections to Mr. West, and there's reasons for her to want to support him. So I just think that her math doesn't math. That was sort of ferreted out in her time as a finance director. I found her to not be a very competent one, unfortunately. But yeah, it doesn't matter what she thinks or what I think. The courts have already looked at that issue and ruled definitively that that's a factual statement.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is, I have to admit, as much of a shit show as West has been with the courts. It was absolutely wonderful to see the results of that. Even if afterwards he's still saying, "Yeah, no, I went to court and I even proved it was false," which he has absolutely not done in court.
Yeah, he likes to say he's been vindicated or whatever, but I mean, he lost in court. He lost in that anti-SLAPP motion in 5 of the 6 tenants. And as you said, the 6th one, it's not that they said that the statement is false. It's that there wasn't enough evidence to grant the anti-SLAPP motion. Now, in both Mr. West's defense and in Lily Morgan's defense, both sides have appealed both parts of the ruling. So these are likely to just pretty much all the West lawsuits are likely to end up being decided at the appellate level, including my anti-SLAPP motion.
Ongoing litigation, fun. So you initially attempted an anti-SLAPP motion that was denied.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Did the noise cut out a bit?
No, we were just talking over each other. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry about that. So you initially attempted an anti-SLAPP motion that was denied. I want to know why, in your opinion. And again, this doesn't necessarily mean this is exactly why. I'm just looking for your opinion. Why do you think that motion was denied?
I think 2 reasons. One, and the primary reason is I don't think Judge Galley really understands the law. I know he's a judge, but I don't think he really understands the history and purpose of anti-SLAPP litigation, and at least in my case and in Jay Meredith's case, he didn't appear to be prepared for the case. He was reading the case studies that both sides presented at the hearing. So instead of being prepared and ready, he was sort of reading on the fly. So it makes me question his professionalism. But secondarily, anti-SLAPP is tricky in you're not allowed to present your evidence for why you spoke truth or not. In fact, you're required to, for the purpose of the anti-SLAPP motion, to assume that the stuff said was a lie. Because then they're looking, if it was a lie, would still qualify for ongoing litigation. And so that's sort of the premise of it. And with that, Mr. West's attorney drew some conclusions that were just erroneous and false, but I am not allowed to fully defend myself because of the structure of the anti-SLAPP process. So, like as I mentioned earlier, he was tying in activity there was like a kernel of truth in what he was saying, but it was not fully true. And then he was trying to comport that as evidence that I have some long-standing agenda where I was trying to take Mr. West down and hurt him financially. And it was sort of a ridiculous premise. Who would say that a statement said in 2024, in like August of 2024, are evidence of your state of mind in a reply to a post in December of 2025. Like that's sort of a silly premise, but that's the premise that they.
That is weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I just, the thing that I'm thinking about over here is like, so all of this originated from a Facebook post. That's correct?
No, a comment on a post that was seen by, from what I could tell, tons of people, not even like hundreds.
So
and that's why I, as a frivolous lawsuit, I mean, Mr. West is alleging that a comment about an illegal meeting cost him $2 million in damages. That's what he thinks it's worth.
No, yeah.
Silly. Not only was it a post alleging an illegal meeting, I gave a disclaimer in it. So I said it was actually a post about Dwayne Yunker. Somebody was talking about his morality, and I said, I don't know. He was appointed after attending an illegal meeting, and then I made it clear Yunker didn't break the law in that meeting because he wasn't part of the board. But the 2 commissioners having a meeting, that would be violation of public meeting law, but I wasn't there. And so I gave a disclaimer. I said, I wasn't at that meeting. I was told about it by board admin staff.
Yeah.
So the fact that I gave a disclaimer, you would think would be evidence that I'm not trying to spread gossip and rumor. I'm telling people what I clearly believe to be true.
Right.
And I cited my source.
Right. And so like you're this is why I'm losing my mind over here, because I'm thinking about it going, he made a comment on Facebook. Hundreds of thousands of people make comments on Facebook all the fucking time that are erroneous, non-factual, straight up lies. And yet he's coming after you for a Facebook post that you even made a disclaimer saying, hey, look, I wasn't there, whatnot. I don't see how this even made it to fucking court, but that's just me.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not actually worried about losing the lawsuit because it's a ridiculous frivolous. It's just if I win the anti-slap motion, he has to pay my attorney fees, and if I don't, then even if I win, I still lose because I got to pay money, and that's the point.
Yeah,
And he wants to send a message to anyone else. Again, conjecture on my part, in case anyone's listening and saying I'm defaming. That's the purpose of this litigation. It's a combination of revenge because we were a part of a whole host of folk, and I'm a loudmouth, and doesn't like that. And I've upset his feelings because I've called him out to his face. He doesn't like that.
Yeah,
and so I'm one of the subjects that he wants to try to take down.
Yeah, and But
it's like I said, it's partly about me, but I'm a dumbass nobody. I mean, let's just be who cares who I'm not important at all. I always laugh when people get upset about something I say because, from my perspective, the correct response to JJ running his mouth is who.
I mean,
but the reason I say that is it's partly about me because he's pissed he doesn't like me, but it's also more about I'm going to stop other people from speaking up against my political aspirations. So I think that's the primary reason that he's doing this is he wants to stop from basically saying, hey, I don't think you'd be a good commissioner.
I mean, the thing that is really making me giggle here a little bit is that in the process of pursuing these lawsuits against you, you haven't been made famous, but West has made sure that you are much better known in the community by pursuing these lawsuits. So you're somebody who, as you said, it's like, yeah, if somebody, it's like, yeah, JJ, who am I? It's like, I'm just your average Joe. And now it's kind of getting to the point. It's like, well, yeah, you're an average Joe, but you're the pebble in this guy's shoe, and it's really pissing him off.
Yeah, I do find it amusing that like a number of his cronies and whatnot are very incensed by me. I know I was going to go get coffee one Saturday because I usually don't work on Saturday, and they happened to have I think it was an anti-ICE protest or something, and I had no interest in taking part in that protest. I'm like, I just want to go get coffee. And I purposely walked on the other side of the street from where the protesters were at because I didn't want to walk through the crowd. And I live just a few blocks from the Dutch Bros thing. So I was just walking by, and Olivia Herrera, one of John West's allies, started screaming at me. And I was just like, coffee. And then a couple of days later, someone, and I don't know who, because I get emails sent to my bosses trying to get me fired.
Oh, great.
And they're always, and so I got an anonymous email sent to my bosses alleging that I was using my position at my work in order to support this protest. And no, I don't. I'm very careful. Anytime I do come out and speak, I give a little disclaimer saying I'm saying this as a private citizen, and because I work for a public entity, I'm not representing the public entity. I make sure to say that every time. I'm not required to say that, and my boss has made it clear that I have to say that. because I don't. I just do it to be on the safe side.
Sure.
I'm literally not. I'm not protesting. I have no interest in it. I just was getting coffee, and people screaming at me in the street, and multiple emails sent to my bosses trying to get me fired over it. So that's the kind of people that he associates with.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Olivia Herrera, isn't that the one who I've referred to as Commander Barnett's Oompa Loompa?
Maybe.
I think
it might be. You have a lot of names for a lot of different people.
This is true.
And Barnett is a key figure in some of this. He's also sent emails to my boss, and he's done it, in my opinion, in that anonymous. I think he's part of the progenitors of the anonymous emails, but he's also sent it personally with his name attached to it. So, and what he's doing is attempting to violate people's First Amendment protected speech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And again, I haven't heard from Barnett for months, and I'm happy not to. It's actually funny that I still have people harangue me because I literally have done nothing. I don't very much. I don't go to any of the protest stuff. I'm just like, I hide in a little hole in my house and hang out with my fiance and my kids. And I was chatting with one of the department heads at my work, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I see you in such and such all the time." And I'm like, I don't know why. I literally have done nothing in months. I don't want to. I worked hard to help with 2 recalls, and I've just sort of viewed it as I did some good work. And again, it wasn't me; it was a whole host of folks that accomplished some good stuff. But I'm tired of getting attacked, so I'm just like stepping. But people still, are incensed by my, red hair and big mouth, I guess.
It's absolutely bananas.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, okay. Let's see. We got a few more questions left here. So I want to know, what is your opinion of the lawsuit West had against Jay Meredith being dismissed?
I mean, it's good and bad because it was the correct ruling. I think it was pretty clear in the evidence that he presented that it was about allegations of impropriety associated with the recall, and there's a short window to file lawsuits for that, and he had every right to file that lawsuit. He just didn't. Instead, he filed a defamation lawsuit, and the evidence he presented didn't show that it was defamation. And the reason I say it's bad is they haven't yet ruled on the anti-SLAPP provision within it, and I think it clearly qualifies as an anti-SLAPP ruling. So it's sort of expected that it was dismissed based upon the details, but again, it'll still end up in appellate because West likely will appeal that ruling. And then I don't know exactly when the anti-SLAPP motion will go to court, but that hasn't been ruled on yet. And frankly, it should have been. The judge again wasn't prepared, and then basically they went to court, wasted their time and money, and then ended up having to go back to court again.
Okay. The next one's kind of redundant. And I've through messaging you on Facebook Messenger, you kind of gave the impression you expect it's still going to take a while for your own case to get through the courts because courts are slow. Are you expecting or suspecting that West's lawsuit against you is going to be dismissed for similar reasons?
No, it won't be dismissed for the same reason, I don't think. The allegations he's making about me aren't. I mean, it's about the recall, but it's not. It's not as closely tied. So I don't expect it to be dismissed because it is clearly alleging that the behavior associated with the recall was improper. It's a defamation suit, so it's clearly different. Now, I do expect it to be dismissed, but not for the same reasons that Mr. Meredith's suit was dismissed.
Okay, cool. As much as you can tell us, because again, you're in an ongoing lawsuit with West. What do you expect your next steps are with this lawsuit?
Well, I mean, we're gonna appeal this anti-SLAPP motion. It'll go to the appellate court. And if we are successful there, then it just dies, and then he'll have to pay my lawyer fees. If the appellate court denies our motion, then Mr. West has the right to take me to actual court, and I'll go to actual court, and then we'll have a jury that will decide who is more believable. Do they think the actual evidence presented shows that basically defamation is I said something that was false, I knew it was false, and I did it to harm someone. That's what defamation is. So he'll have to show to a jury that those three tenets are met, and I don't think any of those three are met, and I'll have the evidence to show that. But I'd much rather it go to and just be stopped at the anti-SLAPP motion, because that's really what it is. This is about political activity. This is not even about defamation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, last question I got on here. Since West is still in the race to reclaim the position he lost, do you imagine it is? I'm going to change the word out here from possible, because with prior elections we've had, both county and national, we've learned that many things are possible. But do you think it is likely that West could regain his former position as county commissioner?
I don't think that it's likely. I mean, I do think that Commissioner Martin did very well in the primary. I mean, she was 3 points off of getting 50%. But it's not going to be easy either. She's gonna have a long road ahead. Mr. West has shown that he will say anything and do anything to get elected. He'll say things that are not true. He'll exaggerate stuff that's partially true and say things that are out of context. And that's that's not new. That's politics locally and nationally. So I'm not even faulting him for playing dirty, because that's what politics are. But yeah, he has a strong base of people that support him. I think the average populace in Josephine County is just tired of drama. I think they're tired of poor leadership and misleading folks for the totality of what actually happens. So I predict that she will win. I don't think it'll be easy. I think that she's going to have a tough campaign, but I do think that she'll win.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fingers crossed on that.
Yeah.
So, okay, Mr. Morgan, do you have any follow-up questions?
I mean, I'm glad that you're putting in the good fight. I just want to ask, like, have you run into any shady biz with like not getting stuff in the mail, related to like, your court cases and whatnot? Because I know that we've done other interviews with other people where it's like, oh, well, I never got that, or something. Have you run into anything totally underhanded like that?
I mean, as it relates to court proceedings, no. I mean, I have gotten the thing, pretty simple cases.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's literally, he's saying, damaged him to the tune of $2 million based upon a single comment on a post. So
yeah.
I will say that somebody slashed my tire the other night.
Oh, good. Great.
Jeez.
I don't know if it had anything to do with the political stuff. It could have just been some tweaker guy. That happens sometimes. It could be some, I guess, high school kid.
Yeah.
Still, it happened.
Yeah. Huh.
Cost me $600.
Jesus God.
Yeah.
We get all 4 tires.
Wow. Yeah.
So the cops are looking into it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I can't believe that all of this it has origins on a fucking Facebook post that you may, or not even a post, a comment. It was a goddamn comment. And I'm sitting here going, fucking people make all kinds of comments all the time. Like,
well, and they usually don't have a disclaimer in the comment. So despite the disclaimer, he's still trying to sue me.
Right.
Over it,
so it just tells me, like, well, yeah, he's obviously targeting you. Like, this is an obvious hit job in my mind. And I think any judge, or if it does go to jury, any jury would be like, well, yeah, like, I make comments on Facebook too, like, all the time. Are they factual? Maybe not all the time. I don't know. I can't believe that we're into this so far over a fucking comment.
Yeah, it is pretty wild. I will say, someone the other day asked me, now that I'm, where I am dealing with things I am, do I regret helping out with the recall? Do I regret the stuff? If I could take it all back, would I? And the answer is no. And the reason is when I first found out about people were thinking about launching a recall against John, it was very fascinating to me because there was a bunch of people that wanted to help, but they didn't want to be out front. They didn't want people to know they were helping. They wanted to be behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very open. Like, we're afraid. We're afraid that he's going to come after us. We're afraid that him and his cronies or whatever are going to come after our business or our spouse's business. And the reason I got involved, and the reason, frankly, that I was kind of a jackass about the whole thing, and I was a jackass about the whole thing. In order to send a message to people, you don't need to be afraid of this guy. I mean, my favorite thing that I did is when we launched the recall, we launched it at the fairgrounds. And I took a recall petition and brought it up to John at the Republican Party booth and asked him to sign his own recall.
Amazing.
God damn it.
And like that sort of, brazen jackassery is why he's, and again, I didn't say anything that wasn't true. But yeah, I would see him at the growers market, because I often would help out at the growers market collecting signatures, and I'd listen to him tell people stuff that wasn't true. And so I would come up to him and I go, "Hey, big boy," and that's one of the things he alleges. I wouldn't call him John West. I'd call him Johnny Boy or Big Boy. And I'd say, "Hey, big boy, you still having illegal meetings every week?" And I threatened him and said I was going to come for him or something like that. But I never said that. But I did use the word big boy, and I did say, "You having illegal meetings every week?" And so he would threaten me. And it was political banter, which is typical for politics.
Sure.
But I was purposefully disrespectful because I don't respect him, and I wanted to send a message to people during the recall. You don't have to be afraid of this guy. He's just a guy. Sure. He has a lot of money. It can be scary because he'll come after you, but it's worth it. It's worth taking the heat to do what's right for the community.
Yeah.
And what's kind of funny is after the recall, I don't address him. I haven't made I don't care. He got recalled and I let him go. It's why I think it's unfortunate or amusing or whatever that his attorney is trying to allege that I have some sort of long-standing vendetta against him, because I actually don't. I don't begrudge him his business. He's welcome to be successful if he wants to. Actually, what was funny is I was chatting with someone the other day, and they said, "Oh my God, is there ever a chance you would actually vote for West?" And then I was like, "Yeah, if there was a worse candidate." And like I think Andreas Bleck is a worse candidate than John West. And if it came to John West versus Andreas Bleck, as much as I don't think West is a good commissioner, I would happily vote for him because he's less worse than Andreas Bleck.
Yeah.
So I don't actually have any vendettas against him. I don't hope that he, perishes in a pile of flame. The guy has every right to have a business and be successful and do whatever he wants. I just don't think he's a good politician. I think he's a bad representative. He doesn't represent the needs of our community. So I don't support him as a commissioner.
Yep.
But yeah, it's funny that his whole shtick is, he's got this hatred, anger, and he's out to get me. And I'm like, A, I'm a nobody, so out to get you. Okay, sure.
Uh-huh.
And B, I don't actually care. Once he got recalled, I moved on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think that's about everything we got here, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, JJ, thank you very much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
This has been a pleasure.
Happy to chat with y'all.
Yeah.
No worries. Well, I hope the rest of the day goes well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to our podcast.
Yeah.
If you have any suggestions or ideas, please be sure to email them to maltliquorsocialists@gmail.com. You can also check us out on Facebook and YouTube. And we do have a Patreon. If you have, a little bit of money burning a hole in your pocket, throw a couple shekels our way. If you happen to be John West and you're bored and you don't know what the hell this podcast is, look, I'll take your money. I don't have a problem with that if you pay us. But yeah,
Sure.
Otherwise, I think that about wraps it up.
Yep.
I know who you are. I know who a lot of these people are. They don't even know me. I'd be embarrassed if I were you. The misinformation machine is rapid. It puzzles me.